Welcome. Tonight, as the world around you grows quieter, allow yourself to drift gently back in time, back nearly 2,000 years, to the sprawling, sun-drenched empire of Rome. Picture marble columns warmed by afternoon light, the muted rhythm of sandals on mosaic floors, the faint echo of water trickling into ancient pools. In this slow and measured journey, we'll explore the hidden corners of Rome's daily life, from the sweltering, soot-filled chambers beneath the famous baths, to the shadowed intrigue of imperial courts and secret cults, in the scorching, ash-coated darkness where the bath slaves worked, unseen and we'll see how the mighty and the powerless alike shaped, and were shaped by the rhythms of empire. So find a comfortable position. Let your breathing slow, and imagine yourself stepping quietly into the past. We begin far below the gleaming marble and gilded statues. The first task, stirring the embers of yesterday's fires beneath the great the underfloor heating system that keeps the tepidarium warm and the caldarium near stifling. Patrons arrive. Merchants easing tired limbs, scholars discussing philosophy, and senators perfumed with imported oils. And so, hour after hour, you move between furnaces, your skin grimed with soot, muscles aching from lifting heavy logs and clay tiles. You hear the sounds above, laughter, splashing water, the clink of oil flasks and bronze stridules scraping skin, a world of leisure and conversation, separated from you by a single stone floor. You glimpse them only in passing, as you carry baskets of charcoal, scrub soot from walls, or hauled pails of water from the well. Your lungs sting with every breath, thick with the scent of damp ash and charred olive wood. The dampness never fully dries. Mold creeps across walls, mingling with the smell of burned oil. Imagine, for a moment, that you awaken before dawn in the city of Rome. You are not a senator or a merchant, but a balneator, a bath slave, whose life unfolds in heat, smoke, and unending toil. You eat standing, always near enough to hear the crackle of the fires. Others remain mere carriers of wood and water, until age or injury removes them entirely. Now, let your mind drift away from the smoke-darkened furnace rooms. This is the world of the Roman imperial family, where power is both blessing and curse, and every gesture is weighed by watchful eyes. While you remain unseen in the smoke-filled dark, sleep, when permitted, is snatched in narrow, windowless quarters, ears still half alert to the rhythm of the flames, and destined for intrigue, ambition, and tragedy. From childhood, her life was shadowed by politics. Honors granted, then stripped away, family members praised by crowds, then exiled or executed on imperial whim. With it, Agrippina secured her return to power, and set her son, Lucius Domitius Ahenobarbus, whom history knows as Nero, on a path to the throne, then watched her mother and two brothers perish, victims of the Emperor Tiberius's suspicion. In 54 CE, Claudius died, poisoned, rumor said, by Agrippina's own design. Though certainty is lost to time, stories from ancient historians describe bitter quarrels, whispered plots, and growing distance. Nero invited Agrippina to join him by sea. The boat was designed to collapse and drown her, yet she escaped the sinking wreck, swimming to shore. Agrippina's influence waned. Nero turned to new advisors and new pleasures. Her son, now crowned as Emperor Nero, was only 16. At first, Agrippina stood beside him, guiding decisions and guarding his rule. Into hidden temples and unsolved mysteries beneath the city's streets, ancient writers tell of Agrippina's last moments, confronted by armed men, She is said to have pointed to her womb and commanded, "Strike here first," whether fact or legend. It captured the drama of her life, born from empire and dying by its hand. Yet it was after the death of her brother Caligula, who had reigned, then fallen to assassination, that Agrippina's story turned sharply, and who finally met death at the order of the son she had fought to win. She attended Senate meetings, appeared with the emperor in public ceremonies, and shaped appointments at court. Some saw her hand in the removal of rivals and the rise of loyal allies. Ancient writers, often hostile, sometimes fascinated, described her as forceful, cunning, and commanding. Even in grief, she learned Rome's cruel lessons. Blood ties are both shield and target. Fires must be banked to burn gently until dawn. Ashes are shoveled into piles, the floors swept clean of soot. Your back bends, your palms crack and blister, but the labor cannot stop. The day starts in darkness. All around you, shadows shift among the low arches. Other slaves shoveling fresh logs, the crackle of flames mingling with the faint drip of condensation on ancient bricks. Your tunic, coarse and stained from long hours of labor, quickly soaks through with sweat. There is little talk, words, waste, breath. As the morning unfolds, the bathhouse above slowly comes alive. The rhythm of your life is not marked by hours, but by heat. The relentless need to keep the water warm, the stones hot, the air thick and humid. Fires must be fed constantly. A moment's distraction could let the baths cool. A mistake punished by whipping, demotion, or worse. In quieter moments, brief, fleeting, you pause in a narrow corridor. Down here, the air tastes of smoke and sweat. Even the water you handle carries risk. Slipping on wet tiles, scalds from boiling pools, infections from cuts that never heal properly. Meals, when they come, are plain. A crust of bread dipped in thin broth, perhaps a few olives if fortune smiles. And yet, even among slaves, hierarchy endures. Some rise to oversee the furnace rooms, entrusted with the schedule of heating. As night finally settles over Rome, your work is far from done. And so, the rhythm of your life continues. Heat, ash, sweat, day after day. Imagine, for a moment, the weight of that endless routine. The knowledge that your efforts keep luxury alive for others. In the next part of our journey, we will rise from the furnace rooms into the marble corridors of power, and follow the life of a woman whose story entwines ambition, family, and fatal downfall. Agrippina the Younger. Imagine marble corridors lined with statues of ancestors, polished floors reflecting flickering lamplight. Here lived Agrippina the Younger, a woman born into empire. Agrippina was born in the year 15 CE, daughter of Germanicus, the beloved general, and Agrippina the Elder, herself a granddaughter of Augustus. As a young girl, Agrippina saw her father's ashes return to Rome with grand mourning. Her first marriage, arranged to strengthen alliances, brought her into the heart of Rome's noble families. In 49 CE, she married her uncle, Emperor Claudius. It was a union shocking to Roman sensibilities, but politically brilliant, as Empress Agrippina wielded influence rarely matched by women of her time. Coins were struck bearing her image beside Claudius, an honor seldom granted. But power, once gained, is never secure. Yet as Nero grew older, he chafed at his mother's presence. In 59 CE, the final act unfolded on a quiet evening voyage. Faced with his mother's survival, Nero sent assassins to her villa. So ends the story of Agrippina the Younger, a woman who rose through family, marriage, and will, who steered empires and shaped policy. From marble halls and whispered plots, our journey now moves deeper still. Next, we explore the secretive cult of myth, its underground sanctuaries, and the questions that echo through centuries. Now, imagine descending cool stone steps, far from the noise of Rome's busy forums. Down here, lantern light flickers against damp walls. You pass columns carved from stone, and the air grows still, heavy with incense and the faint scent of earth. No grand histories, no public decrees, only the quiet testimony of these hidden places, scattered across the empire, carved into basements, caves, and under the very baths that once roared with life. You have entered a Mithraium, an underground temple of the mysterious cult of myth. Around him, symbols. A scorpion, a snake, a dog, and sometimes the sun and moon. Looking on, little survives in writing about myth. In the center of each Mithraium, you would find the same scene. A carved image known as the Tauroctony myth, wearing a Phrygian cap, plunging a dagger into the neck of a sacred bull. Ancient mosaics and carvings speak of 7 grades, each with symbols: the raven, the bridegroom, the soldier, the lion, the Persian, the courier of the sun, and finally, the father. What did it mean? To Roman eyes, the bull symbolized life, sacrifice, and perhaps the turning of seasons, or the cosmos itself. Each discovery brings fresh questions. Who were these men, gathering by lamplight under crowded streets? What words did they speak as they knelt before the bull? And what did Mithras himself mean to them? Savior, cosmic hero, or something more personal? But no definitive answer survives. The rites were secret, shared only among initiates. But even in these quiet courtyards, power whispers through every marble column and painted fresco. Those who joined the cult, often soldiers, merchants, and lower officials, underwent a series of initiations. Here, clients already gather, citizens who depend on your patronage for work, favors, or legal protection, into the world of wealth, silk, and marble, to see what life was like among Rome's senatorial elite, whose comfort rested on the unseen work of many. Now, imagine stepping up from the cool shadows of the myth. Debate begins. You sit among marble statues of ancestors, listening as speakers rise to discuss grain shipments, tax laws, or declarations of honor to provincial governors. A senator's life depends on reputation. A word whispered wrongly, an insult unnoticed, could spark real danger. Sometimes voices rise in sharp disagreement, and smoke of the furnace rooms, the dangerous brilliance of Agrippina's rise and fall, the mysteries of hidden cults, and the calm ritual of the senatorial life. Sometimes the ritual is purely ceremonial. You retire to your sleeping chamber, where cool air drifts from the courtyard. The city beyond the walls quiets, though distant shouts, barking dogs, and the rattle of wagon wheels still echo faintly. Decisions already made in private. Slaves help you dress in the white woolen toga, its folds heavy and awkward, yet essential for the day ahead. You'll listen, you'll return home, or visit a friend's villa on the Palatine Hill, reclining on couches in a shaded triclinium. You share a meal of fish, olives, honeyed wine, and spiced fruit. Conversation drifts from politics to poetry, from rumors at court to debates on philosophy. Nod and occasionally speak. The slow pace can seem timeless, but each word shapes laws, provinces, and the emperor's favor. Into the morning light of Rome's grand avenues, of private luxury balanced against public duty and ever-present risk in the shadows of imperial power. Before you stands a domus, a senator's townhouse, its walls painted with deep reds and oak, mosaic floors gleaming beneath your feet. You may walk in gardens, cooled by fountains. Guests gather by lamplight. Musicians play soft tunes on lyres and pipes. Slaves pour Falernian wine into delicate glass cups. Dishes arrive in courses. Dormice stuffed with herbs, roasted peacock, sweet pastries drizzled with honey, a tender reading of new verses, or oversee the household accounts. Though free from physical toil, your mind remains watchful. Rivals, alliances, and imperial moods can change swiftly. In return, you promise to speak for them, to help secure contracts or plead cases. It is an old exchange, obligation woven through daily ritual. The air smells of fresh bread, olive oil, and the faint temps of river water. Merchants call from stalls, children dart between wagons. Inside the Mithraic, members gathered for meals on stone benches lining the walls. Guests drift into conversation about philosophy, family, histories, or the fortunes of distant legions. The night grows late. The lamps burn low. By oil lamp glow, they shared bread and wine, recited prayers, and perhaps retold the myth of Mithras' birth from a rock and his friendship with the sun god, Sol. As Christianity spread and gained imperial favor, temples were abandoned, buried by new buildings or intentionally destroyed, yet the carved altars and mosaics remained hidden for centuries, secrets resting in the dark. Others see the comfort of ritual in an empire of shifting loyalties, where tomorrow's fortunes could rise or fall with a single imperial command. What drew men to these dark sanctuaries? Some historians suggest the promise of brotherhood across ranks, a shared mystery known only to those within. By the 4th century, the cult of Mithras faded. Today, archaeologists rediscover these Mithraic beneath modern cities. In Rome, London, and along the Rhine, the answers may never fully be known, but the silence of these chambers still speaks of devotion, secrecy, and a longing for meaning that crossed provinces and centuries. From the underground shadows of the Mithraic, we rise once more into daylight. Life here unfolds behind high walls, protected from the noise of the city. As dawn breaks, servants draw back linen curtains. You rise not to labor, but to ritual. A light meal of bread, honey, and dates. From the atrium, where the household shrine flickers with oil lamps, you step into the tablinum, the formal reception room. One by one, they greet you, offering words of loyalty and small gifts. After the morning salutatio, you head to the Curia, the Senate House, carried in a litter through Rome's crowded streets. Within the curious high stone walls, 4 hours at midday in the afternoon, evening brings the larger banquet. Yet under the laughter and conversation lies caution, as the feast ends, at last. And so ends a day in the life of a Roman senator, a life of silk, marble, and measured words. As our journey draws to a close, let your thoughts drift gently over what we have seen. Across all of Rome, from hidden undercrofts to marble halls, life moved according to rhythms as old as the city itself, each moment woven into the grand tapestry of history. May these quiet stories accompany you into peaceful rest, and may the past, in all its dusty detail, keep you company through the night. Now, let your thoughts wander further back in time, before the echoes of laughter in marble halls, before the steaming pools reflected lamplight. Here, the great baths of Caracalla, or Diocletian, or Trajan will one day rise. But today, only the measured sounds of hammer on stone, shovel against earth, and quiet orders spoken in Latin. Imagine an empty stretch of dusty ground under a Roman sky, their simple mark. A stamp or carved letter, is the only clue they ever existed, baked into walls that might stand for centuries. A dawn quarryman set to work under the warmth of the first sun. In distant hills outside the city, blocks of marble are freed from cliffs, each one weighing tons. The work is hard, sweat stinging the eyes, hands blistered and calloused. Yet in every chisel mark lies precision. Even the smallest flaw could crack the stone later. Then, wrapped in coarse cloaks, they sleep beneath scaffolding, dreaming of families waiting beyond the city gates. He walks among scaffolding and archers, pausing to instruct, correct, and sketch fresh plans. Farther along the road to Rome, oxen pull carts creaking under the weight of granite columns. Some from quarries in Egypt, brought by ship and barge, then rolled carefully through the city streets. Others, he consults with patrons, senators funding the work, or an emperor seeking to leave his mark upon the city's skyline. Closer to the building site, brickmakers mold countless clay rectangles, then fire them in great kilns that glow through the night. Mosaics bent for hours over small tesserae, carefully lay colored stones and glass, turning them into fish, and swirling geometric patterns that will glitter faintly through drifting steam. Overseeing it all stands the architect with wax, tablet, and measuring rod in hand. He calculates gradients so that heated air will flow silently beneath marble floors. Some days, he climbs the half-finished vaults to trace with his eye how light might fall through the windows. Dust clings to skin and hair. Voices grow hoarse-calling measurements across echoing stone halls. Yet for most, there is no glory. Laborers carry water, mix lime, mortar, and lift bricks hour after hour. In the evenings, they share a simple meal near the site. Bread, lentils, maybe a little oil. Years pass. The skeleton of arches and columns grows taller, shadows deepening between rising walls. At last, the baths stand complete. Marble floors, polished smooth, bronze statues glinting in lamplight, mosaics ready to impress visitors from every corner of the empire. When the crowds first step inside, they will see only grandeur. Few will think of the quarrymen in distant hills. Patrons step carefully, their bodies glistening with sweat and oil. The brickmakers at hot kilns. The pool's surface is still reflecting vaulted ceilings above. You lower yourself in, feeling the cold water close around, limbs flushed from heat. The shock sharpens the senses, then fades into a calm clarity. The motion is practiced, almost ritual. Scrape, wipe, pour. Warm water washes away what remains. Or the craftsman hunched over stone for countless days. In corners, old men debate philosophy. Younger men discuss business, upcoming games of the circus, or new verses recited in the forum. Yet each carved dolphin, each smooth tile beneath bare feet. Let us now step forward in time, breathing deeply, letting the warmth settle into bones and muscles made weary by the city's rhythms. To the hour when the bathhouse doors open, steam curls upward, feeling the change from Rome's dusty streets to the hushed cool of marble halls around you. Voices murmur in Latin and Greek, greetings, laughter, and half-whispered news of politics, trade, and family. And Rome's citizens gather not to build, but to bathe. Now let us drift through the rising heat of midday Rome, to the moment when great bronze doors swing open, and marble halls welcome citizens seeking warmth, conversation, and calm. Carries silent testimony to hands that shaped stone and steam into living architecture. The air is heavy with steam, perfumed oils, and faintly the mineral temps of water drawn from ancient aqueduct. From the clang of hammers and scent of fresh mortar, you enter the apoditerium, the changing room. Benches of smooth stone line the walls, you pass into the tepidarium, the warm hall. Light filters softly from high-arched windows, gilding steam as it drifts among marble columns. Here, the air wraps gently around your skin, loosening the stiffness of morning. And niches carved into the plaster hold folded tunics and leather sandals. Slaves move quietly, keeping watch so nothing goes missing. Imagine yourself stepping barefoot across cool mosaic floors. First, you remove your clothing. Next, you might pause to sit upon a stone bench. Beyond lies the caldarium, the hot bath. The air thickens. Your skin tingles from the sudden change in heat. Bronze vessels hiss with scalding water poured into basins. Here, a slave stands ready with a bronze strigil, scraping away the thin layer of oil and dust that clings to your skin. After the heat, you walk slowly to the frigidarium, the cold plunge. Around you, others murmur softly, some laughing at the chill. In corners, old men debate philosophy. Younger men discuss business, upcoming games at the circus, or new verses recited in the forum. Beyond bathing, the complex holds gardens shaded by cypress and laurel. Even rival senators might exchange a polite word, hidden beneath practiced smiles. You walk along colonnades, open to sky and breeze, passing gymnasiums, libraries filled with scrolls, and quiet courtyards where poets read to small circles of listeners. Visitors drift away, leaving only the soft drip of water from carved fountains and the fading warmth of stone benches. Here, daily life blends with ritual and leisure. Deals are struck in low voices, friendships renewed. As the day wanes, light softens upon marble floors, the bathhouse quiets, a great breathing body finally at rest. And slaves, emperors, and poets, mystery cults, and senators, all gathered under vaulted stone. Slaves sweep the changing rooms, gather forgotten sandals, and bank the fires so tomorrow's heat can rise anew. And so ends a single day at the baths, a place where sweat and marble, politics and poetry, wealth and modesty, all share the same heated air. From the depths of furnace rooms to the hush of private libraries, each part of Rome's bathhouses tells a story of builders as night falls over ancient Rome. Let these gentle stories accompany you into rest, reminding us that even in the heart of an empire, life moved in small, quiet rhythms, footsteps on mosaic floors, water flowing from marble mouths, and voices drifting into silence.